People often said the city never slept. That was a lie. The city slept every night peacefully, comfortably, while its people stayed awake, pretending not to hear the screams buried beneath the streets. Ethan Cole learned this truth at 3:17 a.m. The time mattered because that was when the city exhaled. He stood on the rooftop of a 12-story building, rain soaking his coat, neon lights bleeding into the fog below. The smell of rust, sewage, and something far worse filled the air. A smell you never forget once you recognize it. Fear. Ethan was 34 years old, officially a data analyst for the Department of Urban Development. Unofficially, he was a professional liar paid to turn ugly numbers into beautiful reports. Tonight, those numbers had followed him home. His phone vibrated. Unknown number. You were not supposed to see the basement files. Ethan's breath tightened. The files weren't supposed to exist. They had been hidden behind 6 firewalls, buried inside a budget archive labeled Public Sanitation Expansion. A boring name for something that made his hands shake. He typed back, ETHAN. Who is this? 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Unknown number. Someone who knows what the city feeds on. Thunder cracked overhead. Ethan remembered the first file he opened. The basement files. They listed neighborhoods, not by name, but by yield. Zone 1 for B, yield stable. Zone 09F, yield declining. Zone 20 to C, yield terminated. Yield of what? Not money, not resources, people. The second document answered that question. Displacement Conversion Report. It explained how poverty zones were processed to maintain economic balance. Forced evictions, illegal demolitions, unreported fires, false criminal charges followed by disappearances. The city didn't kill people directly. It recycled them. Ethan slammed his laptop shut when he realized something worse. The signature at the bottom of the approval page. Ethan Cole. A digital authorization, his credentials used to approve the expansion of Zone 2 to C. A zone that no longer existed. The rooftop door creaked open behind him. You shouldn't be here, a woman's voice said. Ethan spun around. She wore a dark hoodie, rain dripping from the edge of her hood. Her face was pale, sharp-eyed, and exhausted in a way sleep could never fix. Who are you? Ethan demanded. She stepped closer, unfazed by the height or the storm. My name is Mara Vance, she said, and my brother died in a zone you signed off on. Ethan's mouth went dry. I didn't, he began. You didn't know, she interrupted. That's what they all say. She pulled out a folded photograph and shoved it into his chest. A young man, early 20s, smiling, standing in front of a grocery store with a sign reading closing down. That store burned down 2 weeks later, Mara said flatly. Fire department called it an electrical fault. Funny thing, there was no electricity that night. Ethan looked at the city below them. How many? He whispered. Mara's eyes hardened. How many what? How many zones? She hesitated. Officially, she said, 12. She stepped closer, her voice dropping. In reality, 43. Ethan staggered back. That's thousands of people. No, Mara corrected. That's tens of thousands. Another vibration. Unknown number. She found you sooner than expected. Ethan showed Mara the message. Her expression didn't change. They're watching, she said. They always are. Who? Ethan asked. Mara looked out over the city. The city itself. The machine. They didn't call it a government. They didn't call it a corporation. Internally, it was known as the machine. A network of politicians, developers, banks, private security firms, and data analysts like Ethan. People who never touched blood but signed papers that made blood inevitable. You think monsters look like monsters, Mara said as they descended the stairwell. They wear suits. They drive hybrids. They donate to charities. Ethan felt sick. I just moved numbers, he said weakly. Mara stopped walking. That's the worst part, she said. You made it clean. The children's floor. They exited into an abandoned subway station sealed to the public years ago. Graffiti covered the walls, names, dates, prayers. Mara shone a flashlight down the platform. Welcome to Zone 2 to C, she said. Ethan froze. This place wasn't gone. It was hidden. Dozens of makeshift beds lined the tunnel. Children huddled together, wrapped in dirty blankets. Old men stared blankly at the wall. A woman rocked back and forth, whispering a lullaby to nothing. "Why are they still here?" Ethan whispered. "Because disappearing people is expensive," Mara replied. "Keeping them invisible is cheaper." A small boy looked up at Ethan. His eyes were empty in a way no child's eyes should ever be. "Are you here to move us again?" the boy asked. Ethan opened his mouth. No sound came out. "The choice." Mara pulled Ethan aside. "You have two options," she said. "Run, forget, live comfortably knowing this will keep happening, or help me burn the machine down." "How?" Ethan asked. She smiled, but there was no joy in it. "By telling the truth." Ethan laughed bitterly. "No one will believe me." Mara leaned in. "They will if the truth costs them something." She handed him a small data drive. "Everything you signed, everything they hid. And one thing they fear more than exposure." "What's that?" Ethan asked. Mara's eyes met his. "Proof that the machine eats its own." Above them, the city roared alive, indifferent, hungry. Ethan clenched the drive in his fist. For the first time in his life, he understood something clearly. The city didn't need villains. It needed silence. And tonight, silence had started to crack. Ethan didn't sleep that night. Not because of fear, because every time he closed his eyes, the city whispered back. The children's floor stayed burned into his mind, the hollow eyes, the silence louder than screams. He sat in his apartment, lights off, laptop open, the data drive lying on the table like a loaded gun. At 5:40 a.m., the city struck first. His bank account was frozen, his government access revoked, his name flagged for financial irregularities, all within 12 minutes. Mara's voice echoed in his head. "They won't kill you first, they'll erase you." His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. "Mr. Cole," a calm male voice said, warm and polite. "This is Director Halle from Civic Integrity." Ethan's blood ran cold. Civic integrity didn't exist publicly. "I think there's been a mistake," Ethan said. "Oh, no mistake at all," Halle replied gently. "You accessed files above your clearance. That suggests either curiosity or betrayal." Ethan looked at the drive. "What do you want?" he asked. Silence. Then Halle spoke again. "We want you to come home." The interview. The Civic Integrity building had no sign, no logo. Just glass to clean, to reflective. Ethan felt like he was walking into his own funeral. Halle waited inside. Tall, gray-haired, smiling. "You look tired," Halle said. "That's what truth does to people." "I want answers," Ethan said. Halle gestured to a chair. "The city functions on balance," Halle said. "For every successful district, another must absorb decay. We don't create suffering, we manage it." "You destroy lives," Ethan snapped. Halle nodded calmly. "Yes, quietly, efficiently." Ethan stood up. "I'm going public." Hale's smile didn't fade. "You won't," he said. He pressed a button. A screen lit up behind him. Mara, bound to a chair, bruised, bleeding. Ethan's breath collapsed. "She's a variable we can remove," Halle said softly. "Unless you choose cooperation, the deal." They gave Ethan 48 hours. Hand over the drive, sign a non-disclosure agreement, return to his job, and Mara would live. Ethan walked out of the building hollow. The rain returned, heavier than before. At the subway entrance, a homeless man grabbed his sleeve. "Don't trust the mirrors," the man whispered. Ethan froze. "What did you say?" The man pointed to the city. "They don't reflect truth, they rewrite it." The leak. That night, Ethan made his choice. He didn't go to the media. He went deeper. Using backdoor access only he knew existed, Ethan uploaded the files to a decentralized global archive. No servers, no headquarters. Names, zones, signatures, and one final file titled Internal Harvest Protocol. Proof that high-ranking officials were recycled when they became liabilities. The machine didn't forgive failure. At 11 a.m., the upload completed. At 12 a.m., the city exploded. The cost. News channels went dark. Emergency alerts flooded phones. Riots erupted in districts that didn't exist. Ethan ran. Sirens screamed behind him. A message flashed on his phone. Unknown number. "You've just killed her." Ethan stopped breathing. Then another message arrived. "Mara, not yet, run." Shots echoed. Ethan disappeared into the crowd as the city finally began to wake up. But awakening came with a price. because now the city wasn't hunting the truth, it was hunting him.